Hi, I'm Ricky Gallagher from the Gallagher Law Firm. Thank you for joining me today. A question that I'm often asked is, do I have a medical malpractice case? And that's a fairly complicated question. Before I would ever answer it definitively, I would want to do two things. First, I would want to obtain all of the medical records in the case so that I could take a look at them. Second, I would want to have an expert in the area at question review the medical records to let me know that I had a case. But let's talk generally for a second now. How do you know whether you have a medical malpractice case? Well, there have to be three things. And I'm going to start with the last thing because that's the way I review cases. First, you have to have damages. The damages in a medical malpractice case, especially in Louisiana, have to be fairly severe. The reason for that is medical malpractice cases are very expensive. The last thing I want to do in any case is get all the way through trial, win the trial, and yet there's nothing to go to the client because the expenses have eaten up all of the money that we get from a judgment. So I have to make sure that the medical malpractice case has serious damages. The first thing you have to have is you have to have a mistake by the doctor. This is called a breach of the standard of care. What you have to understand is there are many circumstances in the medical profession where the doctor or the hospital or the nurse can do everything right and you can still have a bad result. Just because you have a bad result does not mean that you have a medical malpractice case. What you have to have is I look for a documented mistake. Something that's fairly clear that the doctor or the nurse should have done and they didn't do, or something they didn't do that they should have done. Once I have that, we have a mistake. The last thing you need is the most legally complicated, which is a relationship between the mistake, the malpractice, and the damages. Once you have all those things, then you can say you have a medical malpractice case. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I hope that this information was helpful. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to call us.